Oh, that feels so soft. There's some things I wish I could share with you all, and that's the feel of dough and the smell, the aroma that's coming up at me. Howdy folks, welcome to Hirschberg's Miracle Homestead. Today we are making a special dish in thinking of Easter coming. Easter is a time of commemorating Jesus' death and the resurrection. And because of that, we can have a wonderful life in Christ. So what food would commemorate this would be, our choice is a hot cross bun. And so we will come in and go across the ingredients that we need for the hot cross buns. On this board is what we need for the dough itself. And then this are things that we will need as we go along. So over here is the bread flour, granulated sugar, raisins, an egg yolk at room temperature. We have ground nutmeg, ground cinnamon, ground ginger, and salt, butter or margarine at room temperature, vanilla extract, milk, water, yeast, and a little bit of sugar. And then over here it is 10x sugar, egg at room temperature. This represents milk, vanilla, and some more bread flour. The first thing we will be doing is getting our yeast activated, and I'm going to put it in a clear glass. It's actually a measuring cup, but that way we'll be able to see the action going on as we're working on the other things. So I'm going to put the milk in the small kettle and the water. We need to get a little heat to this so it won't take long. I'm just put it on the burner back here. Set this aside and bring it in as we need it. Here is the yeast and the little bit of sugar. We'll put it in there. Give it just a little mix together. Alrighty, we have the water and the milk warmed up. If it be just water, I just take hot tap water from the spigot. But since we had milk, I put them together to warm it up. And then give that a light stir. I always find it fascinating to watch yeast come together.
So here it is at fast speed.
As you can see, the yeast is definitely activating, and I'm going to move it over here and just let it sit here as we proceed with the rest of the things. It won't take much at all to melt this a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and just pop it in the microwave a little bit. Okay, you can see I did not bring it to a total hot melt. Just warmed it up a little bit, made it pliable like this. And now I'll put it back in for just a little bit because it did say melted. That was about 3 more seconds, so we're going to let it at that. It looks good to me. And now to this we'll add the egg yolk and the vanilla. Notice the yeast is coming higher and higher. With a whisk, we'll whisk these 3 ingredients together. And now in the white bowl, we're going to add our sugar and the salt, ground nutmeg, ground cinnamon, and ground ginger. And I'm going to toss that together. We have a paddle, a whisk, and a dough hook, and we're using the dough hook. I'm going to put about 3/4 of the flour in, but I'm going to hold some back and then add it as we need it. Now I'm going to create a well here. This is the sugar mixture. The egg yolk and vanilla. And what else was it? And melted butter or margarine. See the yeast down here beside the mixing bowl? I'm just going to stir it a little bit. You can see it broke down. And start mixing. just scrape the sides a little bit. Now that should pull everything in together. Okay, what we're going to do here is the last minute or two is add the raisins in. There we go, and we'll let it knead for another 2 minutes. Pick up the dough hook. I am glad I did not add all the flour because it did not take it all. With the olive oil spray, I'm going to spray my bowl. And let me get the dough hook. Before we come in to put the dough into here, I just want to put a plug in for the Inspirational Golden Thought coming up. We're relating a story. To me, it's the most touching baseball game there ever was that I know of. And that'll be a part of the Inspirational Golden Thought. We're going to come in together so you can see how nice and soft the dough is, and we'll put it in here to rise. And now we will get the dough out of here. Form it into a ball. And I'll place it in there. And now flip it over. And this side of the dough also has some oil on. You can cover this with a towel or with film wrap, and I'm just going to put some saran wrap on here. And we will want this to double in size. One place we like to put bread dough as it's rising is in a cold oven, or just cut the oven light on. That creates a little bit of warmth, but you don't want to turn the oven on as such. But that's a draft-free place for the bread dough to rise. So we are going to get this in the oven back there so we can bake cookies over here. Before I put this together, I filmed just putting cookies together, the sugar-free raisin oatmeal cookies, and they have to sit for a couple hours. They have sat for a couple hours now, so while this rises, we will bake the cookies. And Dorothy can roll the film of putting it together and the baking it, and then we'll come back to the hot cross buns, or however she wants to do it. Buddy is needing some more sugar-free oatmeal raisin cookies. That's the ingredients I have here. We have a video on it. We'll leave a link for it. And I could give the measurements and details and that type of thing. We'll just come in and do it, and then you can go to the video and get the details if you want the details. Okay, that grounded up the oats. And this is plain Greek yogurt. We'll just add the rest of the ingredients right in here. Eggs, honey, and now we have the vanilla, baking powder, and salt. And now some of the bananas, but not all. Then we'll add the others after things are mixed together and it have more room in the pan. Okay, so be noisy again for a few minutes, buddy. Now we'll scrape it out a little bit. Put in the rest of the bananas. Okay, we're going to put some plastic wrap on here. It is cold from the frozen bananas. All right, I had said it's the oatmeal raisin cookie, and you notice we didn't put any raisins in. That's because they come in after this sits for a couple hours. Then you put your raisins in, stir it up, and it's ready to bake. Ready to add the raisins to and ready to bake. And we'll just gently stir it in. I'd say that's good enough. And that flattens a cookie, and it's a perfect size to bake then. Okay, we will get this one ready and whack it down and put them in the oven together. Okay, in the oven they go.
We're glad to have fresh raisin oatmeal cookies for Buddy, and now back to the hot cross buns.
Our dough has more than doubled in size. I prepared a 9 by 13 pan, buttering it generously. We are going to have a dusting of bread flour on the countertop. Bread flour is what we used for the dough. And now for the dough. Oh, that feels so soft. There's some things I wish I could share with you all, and that's the feel of dough and the smell, the aroma that's coming up at me. I definitely know there's nutmeg and cinnamon in here. We'll just put it out on the counter. Our goal is to get 12. We're going to cut it in half. You could measure and make sure you have the right thing, or weigh each one out to make sure the weight is the same. But we're just going to wing it here, and hopefully they're about the same size. Now we're just going to cut it down the center. And now comes the part of putting it in a roll. Well, maybe a little practice and I can get it that way.
For regular dinner rolls, I am accustomed to forming the dough ball in my hand and pinching it off. Thought I would try the new to me method of creating a dough ball, bringing the sides up to the center, rolling it on the countertop, and then placing the seam side down in the baking dish.
Okie dokie, here the rolls are. They are ready to rise again before we bake them. So we will be back when they're ready to go to the oven. Okie dokie, the rolls are risen and they are ready for their next step, which is putting an egg wash over them and then bake them. And the oven is preheated. Do the egg wash. Okay, we have the egg beaten up. And now for the egg wash. The egg wash will help it to create a nice golden top. And that put a shiny top on it right there before it even goes in the oven. The oven is preheated about 365 and we will start checking them in 25 minutes. Here's the timer. It's time to check them. They are done. Let me cut the oven off. There are several different ways that you can get the cross on the bun. One is taking flour paste and piping it across the buns both ways, and that bakes the cross into the bun. And the way we're doing it is when the buns are completely cool, then we'll make a little icing and pipe the icing across both ways. And that creates a cross. So it can be either way. All right, next thing for this is to completely cool. We are on the homeward stretch of making these hot cross buns. I ran out of time last night because spending time with Buddy is very important. So this is the next morning. We just put wrap over the buns and we thought we would finish them this morning. To make the icing that goes across, we need the 10x sugar, vanilla, and milk. We need the 2 tablespoons of milk, and if we need more, we can get more, and the vanilla. And with a whisk, we're going to mix it up and see what we have. I'm going to get rid of the whisk and get a spoon. Okay, mix this together with the spoon now, and then maybe come in again with a whisk. I wonder if I should have just a little bit more milk. That's pretty stiff. That might be okay. Thought I might have to add more milk, but we do want the rows to stand. Alrighty, I wonder if that's not the texture we need without adding any more milk. I'm using a piping bag, and to assist me in getting the icing in the piping bag, I'm going to slip the piping bag into a glass. Now I'm just using a regular round tip. Pushing the icing to the end, and I better hold it over here so it doesn't start dripping on the... Okay, that'll work. Alright, I'm just going to start in the middle here and go straight down across.
We want to give a hearty welcome to all of our subscribers, whether you've been with us for a while or whether you're a new subscriber. We welcome you all back. You're very important to us and we appreciate you. If this is your first time with us, we hope you enjoy the video, check out some others, and consider subscribing. And we thank each one who has liked our videos by pushing the thumbs up button, leaving comments, and sharing our videos on your social media. That all helps our channel to grow, and we thank you very much. And for those of you who shop on Amazon through our link at no extra cost to you, we get a small commission. We do not know who you are, so we'll just give a group thank you, thank you, thank you to anyone who shops on Amazon through our link.
And there we have our hot cross buns. Alright, we do have extra icing in the bag here, and I guess you can hang on to it, and as you eat it, if you want to add more icing to it, you can. But we do not want to take away from the cross look on the hot cross bun. So I'm just going to set this back here now. There's one more thing I need to do, and that's to break one open for you. Pulls apart. I could just tear it apart, but I'm just going to take the knife and now we're ready to open it up. And there is the hot cross bun. And I didn't cut it all the way down to the end. I have not eaten any with butter yet, but others have. So I might try one with butter, but they're delicious just like this. And there we go. What a perfect addition for an Easter meal or any time of year. They are so delicious.
You'll find the recipe for the hot cross buns in the description.
And now for the golden thought. We've been going through the fruits of the Spirit. It was love, joy, peace, long-suffering, and today is kindness. Kindness can be in actions or words. A lot of times actions speak louder than words, but words are definitely a huge part of kindness. Jesus came to the earth to show the greatest act of kindness by his birth, death, and resurrection. And that is the greatest act of kindness. He set the example. And I mentioned that we have a story to share about a baseball game that to me was the best baseball game, a great act of kindness. So I jotted down a lot from the story and I'll just read it. Kindness through action and words. The story of a man who had a special needs son, and the son, we'll call his name Henry. That was our dad's name. And Henry could not learn to understand like other children do. And the dad was asked to give a speech at a school where there were other special needs children. And the audience, the people were there, and he ended up asking the question, where is the natural things of order for Henry? And then he continued, when a child is born and is physically or mentally disabled, an opportunity to see human nature arises and is manifested in the way people treat that person. One day he was walking his son Henry near the park where some children were playing ball. Henry asked his dad if he thinks they'd let him play. The dad knew that more than likely they would not want Henry to play. But he also knew on the chance they did, it would mean so much to Henry. The dad asked the one child if Henry could play. The child looked around for advice from someone. And then they said, we're losing by 6 runs. We're in the 8th inning. Henry can join our team, and they will try to put him into bat in the 9th inning. Henry put on his team's jersey and sat on the bench. With a tear in his eyes, Henry's father watched as his son was accepted and a part of a team. At the end of the 8th inning, Henry's team gained a few runs and trailed only by 3 runs. At the top of the 9th, Henry put on a glove and played right field. No balls came to him, but he was overjoyed to be in the game. In the bottom of the 9th inning, Henry's team scored again. Now a chance to win was a possibility, and Henry was next to bat. Henry's team had a decision to make. Do they let him bat when there was a sure loss or not? Get another batter in. They gave Henry the great moment of his life and let him go to bat. The first pitch came in with Henry swinging and missing. The pitcher stepped forward and softly pitched toward Henry. This time when Henry swung, he hit the ball gently to the pitcher. The game could have ended there, but here is what happened. The pitcher threw the ball high over the head of the first baseman. Everyone in the stands from both teams were on their feet shouting, Henry, run to first, run to first. Henry ran to first, never having run that far before, and the crowd started saying, run to second, run to second. Henry caught his breath and ran toward second base. Till now the right fielder had the ball. He knew he could be the hero of the game and throw a ball and make the out. Instead, he understood the pitcher's intentions and threw the ball high over the third baseman. Henry ran to third base, and the runners ahead of him circled home. When Henry reached three bases, not only the spectators, but also both teams were shouting, run to home, Henry, run to home. Henry ran to home plate, stood on the base with his arms up in triumph, smiling widely, looking at his father. Players from both teams cheered and hugged him like a hero who hit a grand slam and won the game. And then the father said to the audience he was speaking to that day, that day the children from both teams conspired, giving this world a display of true love and humanity, and I will add an act of kindness. Ironically, Henry passed away the following winter, but he never forgot that he had been a hero of that game. So, as we come in contact with people and can do an act of kindness, let's not hesitate to do it. Let's just do it. Hope you've enjoyed the video. We hope you've been blessed, encouraged, and inspired. Until next time, God bless.